Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call today's meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, June 11th, 2013. We're at the Village Board. We have a 7 o'clock meeting followed immediately by a Committee of the Whole meeting. First item is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Sherby, could you please call the roll?
Present. Present.
Present.
Present. Present.
Present. I did receive a call from Paul. He said he may try to make the latter half of the meeting, that he was indisposed at this time. I don't believe we have any presentations this evening.
No, we don't.
Oh, good. What I would, before we go into public comments and questions, a friend of mine and certainly of the law enforcement community passed away this morning, and I would ask for a moment of silence for Chief Tony Garvey of the North Riverside Police Department. Thank you, everyone, and I know our prayers are with his family at this very difficult time. Item number 5, public comments and questions. Looks like Mr. Ossendorf, you look like you're the public this evening, so.
Good. Remember that. There's nobody here.
Yeah, and thank you for being here as well, sir. Anybody? No. Public hearing, I don't believe we have anything. Consent agenda, A through J. Anyone need anything pulled out of anywhere? Once, twice? Anything seems to be in order? Is there a motion and a second to approve our consent agenda for this evening?
So moved. Second.
Tom and Frank, I'm
Yep.
sorry. Sherby, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Perry.
Aye.
Trustee Rita.
Aye.
Trustee Stecker.
Aye.
Trustee Yorkovich.
Aye.
Trustee, I'm sorry, President Wu.
Aye.
Okay.
Did we miss anybody?
Trustee Calhoun.
There we
Aye.
go. All right. We got everybody. All right. Thank you. Under 8, active agenda. I don't see any activity there. Village manager.
Okay, a few things to mention tonight. Just wanted to give a little report on our special events. We did have our first movie night on Tuesday, June 4th. It was a little chilly, but we still had a good crowd out there, about 75 people enjoying A Bug's Life out in the park. Our next movie night will be Tuesday, July 2nd. We'll be featuring Despicable Me, and also a performance by The Incredibles before the show, so hope everybody comes out and enjoys that. Our 4th of July parade will be on Thursday, July 4th, kicking off at 9:30. We have had to adjust the parade route slightly due to our road construction project, so please check the village website and your newsletter for the revised parade route. Also, save the date for Saturday, July 27th. We're going to be hosting a country barbecue at Community Park, and that event will go from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. You have all kinds of fun entertainment lined up, including some bands and a mechanical bull and some fun things for the kids. To be followed by fireworks at St. Joe's High School at 9:30 p.m. Also want to encourage anybody who would like to be a participant in the 4th of July parade to get your applications into Molly Keene here at the Village Hall. The deadline to sign up is this Friday, so we hope to have an even bigger and better parade than last year, so please get your applications in. And one final note, just as a cautionary note, we have received word from the Des Plaines Valley Mosquito Abatement District that they have identified a a mosquito larva with West Nile virus. So when you're out in the early evenings, please make sure and take precautionary measures. That's it for today.
Okay, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, there's two items I'd like to bring to Sherby's attention as the village clerk. Two of the items that were passed this evening require action, further action by your office. The prevailing wage ordinance requires a couple of steps. You need to send certified copies to both the Secretary of State and to the Department of Labor of the State of Illinois. And then you need, within 30 days of the adoption of the ordinance this evening, so 30 days from today, you have to make sure that you publish the notice of the prevailing wage determination in a newspaper of general circulation in the village. Those are annual requirements, so there should be prior notices that you can follow from earlier years. The second document regarding the 6B resolution, a certified copy of that is supposed to be filed with the Office of the County Assessor, Incentives Department. My suggestion on that one would be to contact the attorney for the property owner, the applicant. I do have contact information for that attorney, Mr. Locallo, and perhaps they would file that on your behalf instead of taking a trip downtown, unless you want to fight the traffic. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Board members, anything anybody have? If not, start out with EDC. Frankie?
We're still working on the beautification program, going over planters, decorative things for the businesses to put out, that kind of thing. And really, that absorbed most of our meeting.
And business survey.
Oh, we've been working on the business survey. That's like an ongoing thing.
Okay. Tommy, anything from Kate?
Nothing right now. We got a meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
We haven't met the past couple months.
Great.
Then
Angela Green.
Green Committee had their electronics recycling this weekend. Went well. Pretty much that was it.
Vicki, anything?
No, Police and Fire Commission meeting. We got the new commissioner started. Caught him up to speed with everything, and they'll be having the tests and promotional exams. It'll be a busy summer.
Okay. Celestine, anything? Yeah.
I contacted the schools for a list of volunteers who need hours over the summer to try to get some kind of volunteer program going for the kids, and I haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay. School's out.
They're still in the office. Admin's still in the office, so they can tell me who the honor roll kids are and the other kids that need hours.
And if I'm not mistaken, I understand there were 3 children in intermediate that received some type of presidential award.
There were.
There
Yes.
were, and
My daughter was one of them.
congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
maybe at a future board meeting, I'm sure the school
Sure, I can
is
email
doing
you
their
the
thing,
other
but maybe we should ask them to stop by and to be congratulated for their
They'd love that.
their ability. I know Dave Glandick's son and I think Jerry Ball's son as
Jerry
well,
Ball,
correct?
little Jerry Ball, Sophia,
So-
and David Glandick, yeah.
So, congratulations as well. Sherby, anything you'd like to add?
Well, no, I do have one item. One thing that I like to volunteer for the village is that of voter registration. Because I don't know if we have a person that's focused on that in the office.
I know we have some deputy registrars in
Mhm.
office. I know Celestine was one, and I think there's a few other ones, but, when you want to coordinate that with staff, sky's the limit, so, okay. Miss April.
On behalf of the Westchester Police Department, I'd like to extend our sympathies to our brothers and sisters at the North Riverside Police Department and to the Garvey family. Most pleased to announce that recently the Westchester Police Department revisited its mission statement and formed a committee of patrol and a sergeant who came up with our new mission statement, which is now on our web and throughout our village. And it states, "It is the mission of the Westchester Police Department to protect the lives and property of the people we serve, to reduce the occurrence of crime, and to continually provide professional public safety service while partnering with the community to improve the quality of life. Our goal is to do so with honor, integrity, and accountability while conducting ourselves with the highest ethical standards to maintain public confidence and trust in our police department." And I would also like to extend a happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the room. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Chief.
I got a couple of things. Actually, the majority of my firefighters have been really busy lately. I don't know if anybody's noticed us out by the detention pond. A couple of our instructors are actually running 18 of my guys through state certified rope operations class in-house, which is actually saving us probably about $4,000 to $5,000 right now. And it's actually a big class because it's a prerequisite for a lot of the other special rescue disciplines that are offered through the state. So you can't do anything without that one. So July 27th, we're holding a CPR class at 6 p.m. at Fire Station 1 for residents only. This one's in particular for residents only. There's no charge, and it's the American Heart Association Heart Saver Program. This one is not for the healthcare providers. Anybody looking for the healthcare provider, one can call the station. Also, if anybody would like to take that class on the 27th, please call Station 1 to sign up so we don't overbook it. And just let our residents know school's out for summer. Look out for the kids. And as the heat and humidity rises here, check on your elderly neighbors or your neighbors who can't get around. And, if they need help, let us know.
Great, Jimmy. Thank you. Annie?
Good evening. Preparations for the village's audit for the fiscal year that ended April 30th, 2013 continue to be underway. The auditors were out on site a week and a half ago for a day, and they'll be back for a week starting the 24th, whatever that Monday is. I believe they've been in touch with each of you, so you know how to get a hold of them if you have any concerns for the auditors, and otherwise we will keep you hosted when our report is issued.
Gregory?
I just have one thing. The EDC, at the request of EDC through Melissa, she had asked to have a little more input into our online calendar to add events as they see fit. And this goes out to all the board members that the availability and the accessibility to have somebody from the public add something to our calendar is now available to them. If they register on the website using their email address and create a password, then they're able to add events or information they'd like to the calendar, but it will go through Melissa, and Melissa will see if it's appropriate to be placed on our calendar. So to all your respective committees, if you feel that there's something that needs to be added, please feel free to have one of your members or yourself add that information, and Melissa will add it to the calendar again as we see appropriate. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Dave?
Thanks, Sam. Large-scale pavement patching has been completed on the south central part of town by the Public Works Department. We rented a grinder earlier this summer as phase one of our pavement patching effort there to preserve some of the streets. We've got the grinder scheduled for the week of the 17th to come in and do phase two of what we call the pavement preservation program in the southeast and eastern part of town. We also began, with the permission of the Cook County Forest Preserve, ash tree removal yesterday out at the fountain site. We've removed a number of ash trees. We've got more to go yet. We've also began preparation for the ComEd power, which is expected to be installed on June 18th, next Tuesday, for the fountain site. Regarding the street program, work began on Nelson Square yesterday. We've removed all the pavement there. We're expecting to bring back the various lifts of asphalt there this week By Friday, all the residents that have been displaced from their driveways will be back in their driveways for the weekend. The next step will be Lancaster and Wellington next week. And then on the other side of town, Hull and Bond, that work began as well. Storm sewer work is going to begin next week on Hull and Bond. We've already removed the asphalt pavement there in preparation for the storm sewer work that's going to occur there next week.
Melissa, hiding.
Hi. Just so that everybody knows, in the month of May, Community Development issued 226 permits, which accounted for about $1.7 million in construction value. 4 businesses opened. They're listed in my monthly report. Last week, the building inspector, and I went, we were at training for the 2012 International Residential Code, which is a code that we're probably going to be looking at adopting in the fall. So this was just to sort of get us familiar with that, with the new code. We've also been continuing to follow up on the business retention survey, which was just mentioned. We're calling the EDC and the Chamber of Commerce. We're calling businesses that haven't responded to the survey yet to try to make sure that we have the right contact information and encourage them to fill out the survey. We've gotten a pretty good response rate. We're just over 10% right now. And I've been working with the sign contractor on the sign for Balmoral, looking at the bricks that are going to be used to raise the sign to make sure that they match correctly. That's it.
Very good. Yeah, the sign has been turned off because it was showing old messages. So the sooner we get that up, I think the better. We like it. That's one of our communication vehicles as well. Anybody else have anything that I miss? Anyone? No. Okay, my report. Just have a couple of things. This week we had a couple of meetings. One was with Brian Levy from the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. I asked Trustee Perry to attend as well. And we've asked them to do some cleanup in the creek. In 2010 and in 2011, they did some cleaning between the Eisenhower Expressway and just to the other side of, say, Hancock Engineering. They're going to start in the vicinity of Aspire, and they're going to end up going south into the village of Broadview and hopefully in the North Riverside to take out some of the bottlenecks and things of that nature. We've kind of set up a date of the month of October, and Dave was in this meeting as well with Janet, because most of the leaves will be down by then, and it's a little bit easier to take stuff out of the creek. They're going to have their crawlers in there, as well as whatever implementations and help that we're going to offer as well. And the mayor of Broadview was at this meeting as well and committed his resources as well. So, you know, they cleaned our side, took a lot of the trees down over the last couple of years. But my concern was, well, if everything's coming from up north going south, and if you have a bottleneck south of us, I guess it would have been more of a prudent move to start from the Des Plaines and work their way north. But I guess the squeaky wheel got the grease, and they came out and took care of some of our things. So I'm hoping that that'll alleviate some things as well in that regards. But I have to tell you, Brian Levy from MWRD is very responsible and gets back to us in a quick time frame. So I'm hoping that's going to go without a hiccup with certainly our assistance. Additionally, when we were looking at Addison Creek, one of the things we've noticed was that we have 2 of the sanitary sewers on the west side. One of those sanitary sewers actually had an open hole sewer cover on it, just the pick hole, I guess. So guess what? When the water goes over the street, it's way over the top of that inlet. So you might as well have just stuck a garden hose in there and filled it until it leveled itself off. So with that, I mentioned it to Dave and Carl, and yesterday they actually raised both of those those sanitary drains pretty much to street level, which certainly should help the I&I infiltration, which MWRD is constantly indicating that there's far too much of. So thank you for doing that very timely. I know Frank and Tom were actually crawling underneath the bridge looking at the inlets a week ago Sunday to see what was there. And actually, Tom and we all noticed that there is some debris that's been gathered up on the banks and that. I think some of the little tree removal and stuff like we're doing at Crestwood, we might be able to take some stuff down now that's overhanging the street and some of those things before the wholesale cleaning with our assistance from MWRD. So, but we'll talk about that later. We also had a meeting today with a company called Storm Trap, and I can't take any credit for this, but a gentleman that was at our town hall meeting seen this application being applied at the Hines Hospital, and it looks like a bunch of catacombs that actually hold storm water. We had the meeting today with them. Trustee Perry was there as well, and also I invited the village of Hillside, because there's thousands, if not millions, of gallons of water that are coming off of 294 and 290, and our Pelham Street behind us and Kipling and those are getting washed out as a result of the water that's traversing Mount Carmel Cemetery, across Proviso West, into their retention pond, and when their pond goes over, it's all coming to us. So we get the double whammy. We get it coming west, and we get it coming east. So anyway, we had a meeting with the gentleman. He explained his product. We had engineers there, as Hillside had engineers, and Dave was there as well. So one of the suggestions we thought was maybe some type of off-flow. And again, I'm not promising anything. Make that clear. The property that I was talking about looking at possibly is park property, and you know they're their own taxing authority, their own body, their own whatever. But I did think that maybe their parking lot and a little piece of their grass area there could be something that could be looked at. And Dave has got some measurements that we're supplying to the company just to get a rough idea, because everything is cost-benefit ratio. I don't know how much could be stored underneath there, and you know, is it going to make a difference? Again, you all know that we filed the appropriate documents with the state for the expansion of the reservoir. So that's in, you know, that's in the holding pattern as well. The last thing is Janet mentioned the fireworks, and Janet and I did meet with the St. Joe people. Dave McCreary certainly wants to be a good neighbor and stuff like that. We're going to have the fireworks in the same place as last year. Some of the restrictions are they've been manicuring their fields, and as far as the ball diamonds, they've got them where they want them, so those will be off limits. The outfield from the far west ball diamond, part of that outfield is taken up as well. Probably our safety zone is going to be somewhere near Oxford, going across or in front of the school itself, and Jim will set that piece up. There'll be limited parking for the fireworks. It's as simple as that. We're not going to be able to park on the grass up front, and we're not going to be able to park on the grass on the side. So whatever paved that looks like a lot, that's pretty much it. So we're encouraging people, if they'd like to certainly come over to St. Joe's with a blanket, walk over, and light the fireworks. Again, the fireworks are going to happen right after the event at the community park, the barbecue event. That event should be ending probably somewhere near 8 o'clock-ish, 8:30, with the fireworks geared to about 9:30. We talked to Tony Renario from Herson, our pyrotechnic vendor, and he's even indicated to us that if there's a rain-out date, that he's willing to do a rain date on Sunday. So, a couple other things to note is that St. Joe's does have a baseball tournament following the next day in that, so during that weekend, so that's some of the other restrictions that may not be there if we had some alternate times and dates. But pretty much that's where it's going. Janet just reminded me that the last day to file your FEMA claims is July the 9th. So there's a 60 days from the time of the event or the declaration. So 7/9 is the FEMA date. for people to call FEMA, get a contact number, so they could come to your house and take a look and see what's going on. So that's still happening. The event, the walkathon with the Relay for Life, FEMA people were out at that as well. So they've been in our community. We've had meetings with them, Janet and I. So they want to be the best partner that they could be and do their job for all the citizens of Westchester and the surrounding areas, so.
Yeah. And they
That's
did
it.
note when we met with them that they have received over 490 damage assessments from Westchester residents to date.
So, with that, if anyone has any questions, I'll be able to answer. I will give my best. If
Did
not,
we meet with the park or say anything to the park about this MWR or this storm trap stuff?
I had a meeting, well, Steve Busey went out and looked at it at Heinz. I called him today, but he apparently was unable to make the meeting and that, so. Again, it's just some information. We have the outfall that comes out right at Boger and at west end of the park, right at Wakefield. There's a double outfall there. I mean, right now, we're just kind of brainstorming to see how, or what we can do in the planning stage. It's by no means locked down. I mean, I have no authority in the park to do anything to whatever. But we kind of looked at an area that was close enough to our retention pond, and that may not be an impact to the park. So, again, we have to figure out, they can go down about 12 feet with these pieces. I don't know, Dave, about how many feet did we figure it was?
About 320, I think I've got about an acre and a half mapped out. It's usable land south of the ball fields, north of the creek.
Yeah, so pretty much on the other side of the pipe. You said there's a water pipe somewhere in there, so somewhere in there and in the parking lot, just as a rough guess to see what's up. We don't know what's underneath there. But I think we're doing our due diligence to explore these different possibilities.
Oh, I
and,
think
do
that'd
it
be a
as
good
well.
idea if it went through.
Yeah, and also, the Village of Hillside was there, and, we even talked about, and they haven't, they're a separate government body than Proviso West High School. Proviso West has a field. So, we're looking at that, and if, what comes out of Mount Carmel Cemetery, I think he said that their engineers, 69 million gallons came off 294. Oh, I'm sorry. I did, about 69 million gallons came off at 294 that went into the cemetery and washed into Proviso West and washed straight down Roosevelt Road. So if this is available and it is doable, maybe something in that south loop of Proviso was out there. But these are just concepts that, I'm not promising anything, but they're concepts that you have two villages that are certainly thinking about how to manage the stormwater, so we're protected as best as we can. I mean,
Do we have any idea of, with that acre of land by the park, how much water that would hold?
no.
No?
That's what they're doing to figure out. So, but if anyone's interested, if you go into Heinz Hospital and veer to the left, and past the Fisher Building and keep going a little bit south, you'll see the construction of the parking lot, and these concrete grid structures are pretty visible from both sides. But if you go on the Fisher side there, instead of the administration building, you could see the openings. The backside, you just see a squared cement block. And what they do is they put dirt on top of it. They make these things so you could actually put a fire truck up and put your legs out. And what we were told today is that at the plaza there, that there's some weight restrictions for whatever they put on their storage at Target and that, something we were told.
Fire trucks can't go in certain areas of the Target lot.
Yeah. So, good to know, so you don't want to fall through, Jim, so. Yeah, I hope so. But I mean, they make these structures to different specifications that are out there, that if you're going to put a truck on there with your, when you put your boom legs out, that's a lot more pressure per square inch than, they're generally made for 80,000 pounds truck. They'll drive over it. But once you put your legs out in a you know, with a ladder or something like that, that certainly adds so much crushing power. So, something you didn't really think about, yeah, okay. But these are all things that we're exploring, and, you know, I think now's the time, if we're gonna get anything from anybody, with our state legislators, and I think multiple municipalities that are going after things to make, you know, our communities as a region a little bit better, to prevent some of this might be certainly worthwhile, so.
So this is something, just say at Proviso West, if they were to try to implement that there would be a cost to either the district, the school district, or the
No, I think it would
how-
be the same with us. If we were putting this in somewhere in Mayfair Park, you know, that we'd be looking for the funding for that. So I would imagine all they're gonna ask for, if they're gonna get to that fact, would be, you know, can they dig up your south lot and
I
redo
asked
it?
because the south, we call it the South 40, it's actually 30 acres, but there's a lot of land back there.
Yeah, but I'm saying there, you know, these things are built in a number of places where they put the dirt and the grass on top of it. You don't even know it's there. If you didn't know it was there, you don't know it's there. So, you know, that's, you know, that affects us. That runoff, there's no doubt about it, that it affects us, and certainly that quarter of Hillside, but it certainly affects Pelham, Kipling, Cambridge, and all parts south. If you saw in the last event, there was actually a current, you know, running on the south end of Walgreens down Pelham. Almost knocked Tony off his feet from Herson Funeral Home. So, with that being said, I just want to let everybody know that we're on it, and we're looking at it, and, you know, if something comes of it, I mean, we're happy to try to get some grant monies to accommodate some of these things. Again, we don't know what the cost is, and we don't know what the benefit is. I mean, if it's going to cost you, you know, $1 million to build it, and you're going to hold 1 million gallons, you know, it may not have that benefit-cost ratio that we're looking at. I mean, I don't know. It's all speculation. So, okay. If I don't have anything else at this point, is there a motion, a second, to adjourn the board meeting?
So moved.
Seconded.
Nick and Angelo, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? We stand adjourned. Jana, can I borrow your